RealAgriculture.com presents Under the Microscope with BioVision Seed Labs.
Okay, it's time for another episode of Under the Microscope. I'm with Holly Gelech of BioVision Seed Labs. It's been a little while. Good to see you again.
Fantastic to see you as well, Lyndsey.
All right, so it is harvest, the beginning of harvest, great time of year. So it's time to talk about seeding, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, and we're starting to get busy in the lab here as well. In the past month, we've been processing a number of carryover winter wheat samples. All of the stocks didn't sell out last year, so we've been busy testing those. And good news, so far they seem to be holding above the 85% level. So that's fantastic to hear. And that's primarily a function of, if you think of last fall, in Manitoba, it was pretty hot, pretty dry, so we didn't have any seed going into the bin that was high moisture or covered with anything that would be of concern, not a lot of fusarium as well. In the other two provinces, Manitoba and Saskatchewan, they had more struggles last harvest, but we've still seen most of the germs hold and be acceptable for seeding this year.
Good. So, and yes, we do, I say it with a smile, but winter wheat, I know it's really hard sometimes to think about it while you're in the midst of harvest, but now is the time to get that crop in the ground. So now one of the things that people often ask about winter wheat is, can you use this year's seed to seed this year? So what you're harvesting just a couple weeks ago, you can in fact use it. So are there any issues there with dormancy or anything like that?
No, it's something that we rarely see in winter wheat is dormancy, and that's just primarily part of the genetic makeup of the plant. Very different when we're talking CWRS wheats or durum wheats or even the CPS grade. A lot of dormancy that can occur in those, and look forward to talking about those in another episode. But winter wheat, very little dormancy, which is fantastic. So the first thing we always recommend, look at your germination test, get that done right away. Fusarium, graminearium, get that done right away. But we do tend to see with winter wheat varieties that the fusarium levels tend to be a little lower, and that may be a function of when the disease came into the crop.
Right. So, but certainly, I mean, fusarium is just as much of an issue in a winter wheat crop as far as the seed quality goes. So definitely something to test. And of course, germination plays such a huge role in determining seeding rate, and with winter wheat, especially getting that optimal plant stand to get you through and account for winter kill and all those sorts of things. So starting with the seed test, great first step in planning for that winter wheat season. So now that is the seeding in the harvest season. But let's talk a little bit about harvest. It's just gotten going. We're a couple weeks in for some stuff. Of course, the winter wheat's done. Canola has started here in Manitoba. Oats are wrapping up here. Alberta is underway as well. Any early indications of the crop coming off?
Well, so far, the winter wheat, the new crop that we've tested, has been super good. So very little, again, dormancy, a little bit of primary infection, which tends to be from fusarium, but nothing below the 85% mark. Most of the germs for the winter wheat crop have been in the mid to high 90s. It's a fantastic message for those that are looking at seeding in the next 3 to 4 weeks. So that quality looks good. In regards to the harvest conditions, we've seen some pretty decent drying weather in Manitoba. So again, that crop is well underway. So looking forward into the seed testing season, we are not anticipating any major problems in the crop. Right now in Alberta and Saskatchewan, again, we're just getting into the harvest. If we start to see moisture occurring, cool temperatures occurring during that crucial filling time, that could then trigger later dormancy or later seed quality issues. But at this point, the forecast looks pretty decent for the next 10 to 14 days in those provinces.
Great. Okay. Well, we'll certainly check back, see if there's anything, any issues that crop up. But thanks so much for the sneak peek. And of course, we, as always, recommend you're getting out there seeding winter wheat. Get a seed test first.
Perfect. Thank you, Lyndsey.